Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Alicia, mocking around free. It's Sunday, which means a new video, and today I'm going to be reacting to the remainder of the dance dilemmas that are on the CBBC website. Essentially, if you haven't seen the first part, then some next step characters pose dilemma that they have to the audience, and they encourage the CBBC viewers to leave a comment on that video telling them how they can resolve their dilemma, and then we see how they think that they should resolve it. The remaining ones that I know I have left are Winnie, Pete and Cleo, I believe. So I'm just going to watch them today and share my opinions. And like I said, I have done a part 1 already, which was reacting to Piper and Kenzie's. So if you want to go and check that out, then it will be linked down below. Okay, so we're going to start with Winnie's. So let's have a look at these.
When I first set foot inside the hallowed halls of the next step, I was just a girl who wanted to dance.
What's the solution when it's not enough?
I wish I had a giant window like that. That's going to be my dream. When I buy a house, I want a huge window that lets in loads of light. I think they're so pretty.
I've tried not to let it show, but sometimes when I look back on it, I don't think I was being taken seriously. I've always let things roll off me like water off a duck's back. But sometimes I get really frustrated when people don't take me seriously.
I just want to say, Maddie is so Winnie. I really feel like she's in character. Like all of these little, what are they called? Like water off a duck's back metaphors and stuff. She is Winnie. I love it. I mean, obviously, if it's a script, then the script writers have done a good job of embodying Winnie. But yes, it's very much in character. I like it.
Should I change how I act so people will see me as a serious dancer or even person?
This is reminding me of Ozzy's plot that he had towards the end of the next step season 7 with Dance Mania, how like suddenly he didn't like people making a joke out of him because it wasn't funny anymore. But it didn't make sense because he hadn't alluded that he wanted to be taken more seriously in season 7 whatsoever, really, because he was having dance battles randomly. He was calling people out. He was doing graphic design on Rochelle's poster. He was messing around. So it didn't really make sense, in my opinion. This kind of makes sense to now flip it and be like, Winnie wants to be taken more seriously, because we did see her try and step up in season 7. She wanted to be seen as a choreographer by Nick. She wanted to choreograph some group dances. The deleted scene, she got made dance captain and people weren't really happy about it. This makes more sense to me, and I like the idea, actually, because I don't think Winnie's ever been like the class clown on purpose. She's just been quite a funny person that people don't take seriously. Exactly. Especially in the season 7 auditions for being an alternate, where Summer and Emily just kind of went, yeah, but Winnie has no talent, and they just kind of brushed it off. That would hurt to say to her face, and they just don't really take her seriously. I like the idea of this. I think it fits her character very well. So if there is a season 8, I would very much like this to be explored with Winnie and how she feels as like being taken seriously, especially as she matures.
Being on A Troop meant you were dancing on a legendary Nationals winning team.
Legendary Nationals winning team. Surely it's internationals. I'm trying to think why it would be nationals, but none of them have won nationals. They only got to regionals in season 6. Season 5 they didn't go. Season 4 they only made it to regionals and then lost. So they're not a nationals winning team. They're internationals or regionals, if you're counting that specific age group of season 7. They're regionals winning. So I think that's wrong.
My dream became reality when I was chosen to move up from B Troop and join A Troop. When I got cut from A Troop, it hurt a lot. It felt like A Troop thought of me as a joke, the not funny kind.
I've thought this, you know, how Winnie just gets taken off when Piper comes back. Like, no one really went into that. It was just a case of, yeah, bye Winnie, Piper's back now. That could have been a good plot point for Winnie, rather than have her obsessing over Ozzy. Have her be, hey, I was upset about that. But I kind of like it because it rounded her personality a little bit more and we saw her goofier side, I guess. But yeah, this is addressing plot points I never really thought about, so it's good. Yeah, I feel bad for Winnie, you know, underrated character. I've always said Winnie deserves better though, so.
How could I face B Troop again? What if they thought of me as a joke now too? I almost didn't go back.
Wrong clip used there. I think maybe the people editing this thought Winnie left B Troop is season 7, because they showed season 7 B Troop. Maybe they should have shown season 6 B Troop. You know, the dance that they do in Studio 1. Like, oh, how could I face B Troop again and just not show scenes with Winnie? But Winnie was there in that dance. So, yeah.
I think part of the reason I'm so positive is so that I can deal with being rejected as a dancer. But losing A Troop felt like I wasn't good enough, and maybe being me was the problem. How do you handle rejection?
This is sad. This is making me feel... see Winnie in a completely different light. This is definitely my favourite dance dilemma so far. And also, even though I said that I wanted it to relate to kind of the B Troop, A Troop drama, because that's how season 7 left off, this is addressing things that we haven't already resolved. Like with how Piper was talking about her, Finn and Amy, which had been resolved. We didn't really need to readdress it. And Kenzie was on about her friendship with Rochelle and what she wants out of her future. That didn't really have much relevance because we'd never seen Kenzie express those kind of thoughts before. This makes sense because we've never thought about it in a way that's different to how we saw Kenzie. So yes, this is my favourite one so far.
But I didn't have to worry. B Troop welcomed me back with open arms.
Yeah, see, now they're showing season 7. They should have still shown season 6 Winnie in B Troop, like working on that group dance that she did. And then it can kind of fade into season 7.
I decided to be the best B Trooper I could be. And pretty much as soon as I did, things started happening. I was basically the unofficial dance captain of B Troop.
Yes.
And then one glorious day, Nick
scene.
made it official. That was a day I'll never forget.
But this isn't canon because it was a deleted scene. Like, people that haven't seen a deleted scene on YouTube are going to literally be like, when was Winnie made dance captain? Because she wasn't. In canon, it was just Summer and Cleo unofficially announced themselves as it to lead the team. So I'm not really sure this should have been included, actually. Let me just see what happens.
Even when I had an injury and couldn't dance, I still wanted to contribute to my team. So I got to choreograph a dance that I hope will have its debut on the national stage.
Yeah, exactly. So they should have been like, oh, Winnie's always been overlooked and taken as a joke, but she really tried to make herself seen by doing this dance, rather than have it linked to the dance captain stuff, which isn't in the main plot. Like, people aren't going to acknowledge it because it's a deleted scene. As much as you acted in it and it was released, it didn't happen in the main show. If you look through the episode lists, Winnie was never dance captain. It was just an unofficial extra thing. So
I still think about being on A Troop sometimes. I mean, it was my dream for a long time.
Do you know what would have been nice now I think about it? How Maddie's dancing as Winnie. If she'd like been asked to do tap, because tap was a big part of her plot in season 7. Give Winnie a tap solo, or Maddie a tap solo, and this could have been hers. And the song that they used could have been the All We Need version, the instrumental that Grace and Marcus used. Yeah, I would have liked to see Winnie tap because she never got to do it on the show because she was injured. So I'd love to see Winnie do a tap solo.
I saw A Troop as bigger than me. On B Troop, I wasn't afraid to be me. It was only when I gave myself permission to try and fail that I was able to grow and find myself as a dancer.
Literally, I don't even have that many critiques of Winnie's dance dilemma. And I had critiques of everyone else. So, yes. Yes, Maddie. Yes, scriptwriters. Yes, producers. Winnie's is the best one so far. Right, I'm going to have a look at Pete's now. Let's see what Pete's dilemma is. The only thing I can really think of Pete's is maybe being shy and quite quiet, because that's what Pete is on the show, or relating it back to the B Troop, A Troop drama. So let's have a look.
This was my first year at the Next Step.
Favourite song? Tell the Story has so many memories for me, mostly because it's the first song I heard when I was reacting to season 7 episode 1, and I got to see it 2 months before anybody else because I watched it with CBBC. So I love this song. It makes me emotional.
You said you could see it coming, like a star crashing from the sky.
I came to audition for an alternate spot on A Troop. They're one of the best dance troupes in the world. The solo round was great, but this small group round, that's a different story.
This is actually a good idea as well. Like, none of the B Troopers that joined from the alternate auditions plan to be on B Troop. So it's quite interesting to hear how like happy they are with their place, because obviously they wanted to be A Troopers. They wanted to be going to nationals. They didn't want to just be recreational on B Troop.
I shouldn't have lost focus, but after my solo, I felt like the spot was mine to lose. And then I lost it.
I don't feel like that's right, because Pete gave a really good go of the group audition. I think maybe if he'd been more like, oh, might as well give up now because Jude's going to let us down, then that would make sense. But I would have much preferred it if they'd just said, oh, I thought I was really great in both rounds and then I didn't get it. And he could have said something about maybe, oh, Heath got chosen because he was already established, maybe a little bit bitter about that. Just something, I don't know. I don't feel like saying that Pete gave up, basically, and he felt like he just lost it because of how the groups went. Yeah, because Pete was good in the groups.
A lot of the times what seems like a failure is just an opportunity that you didn't know you had. Have you ever failed at something? And how do you find the strength to keep going?
You just gotta treat it as a life lesson, and everything happens for a reason. That's what I like to say to myself. That's what is tattooed on my bicep. Literally, even if it's the worst possible thing and you're like, no, how can I come back from this? You're gonna learn something from it. And eventually, even if it hurts or takes time, it will prove itself on why it was useful.
When A-Troop got the chance to go to Dance Mania, most of them were okay with not going to nationals. Summer got a second chance to audition for Dance Mania as a soloist. She turned it down and chose B-Troop, but we chose her.
You have to start thinking about yourself.
I'm gonna say this quite confidently. I think Pete, or Ben, is a very, very good actor and probably one of the strongest actors on cast. I don't know, I'm just very invested in him and his acting. It feels very, very natural and charismatic. He feels like he is his character and he's not overacting to try and be a character. Props to you, Ben. Yes, I want to see more of Ben in season 8, if there is one.
A-Troop asked her to dance with them in Dance Mania instead. And this time around, Summer didn't choose us. She'd fought for us for so long, and just like that, she's back on A-Troop like nothing happened.
But we've literally just established that Summer got an opportunity from Dance Mania. She's always wanted to go to Dance Mania, but she just couldn't. So she got the opportunity to go, and she took it. Like, I don't agree with A-Troop asking Summer because I think they only did it to benefit themselves. But I feel like this bitterness towards Summer from B-Troop is just so... It kind of doesn't make sense because they were happy with her to go, but only as a soloist and not with A-Troop. That's just bitter and petty. Like, she would have gone anyway if she was solo, so why does it matter that she's gone with A-Troop? You're still going to be without her on B-Troop. You know what I mean?
A-Troop stood up for themselves at Dance Mania, which is great. I'm happy for them. But B-Troop's worked way too hard to let her dreams slip away. And we're ready to fight for what we earn.
Yes, exactly. Literally, even if you think A-Troop deserved to go, A-Troop didn't even acknowledge the hard work that B-Troop have put in and the fact that they have been practicing, that they have kind of, they thought that they were going and that A-Troop were happy with them going. Like, they didn't even acknowledge that. They were just like, nope, we're going now, so.
A-Troop has been number one at the next step for a long time, but they need to live with the choice that they made. They need to know that B-Troop is the one that's going to nationals. So who's number one now? I know my answer.
Oh, the shade, the confidence, love it. And I kind of like how that he addressed B-Troop versus A-Troop going to nationals. Yes. Okay, let's look at the final one. So Cleo's dance dilemma, I'm guessing, is going to be about, like, probably same Summer leaving and betraying her, A-Troop wanting to go to nationals, her being an alternate but then not being an alternate, then being on B-Troop. So Cleo went through a lot in season 7. Maybe about Jude as well, but there's not really a dilemma with Jude.
I thought I'd be going to nationals with A-Troop.
Lost and Found songs, yes, please. I knew I recognised that song from somewhere. Yes, it lives on. Is it worth the wait? That's the song.
I was so happy for Cleo when she made A-Troop.
Oh, hello. Hello, Molly. We've got a Jude in here as well. I thought it was just Cleo, but we've got Jude as well. And the song is Worth the Wait. Worth the wait as in, is it worth the wait of going to nationals? I like it.
And I was glad to be on B-Troop because I get to improve my skills. And maybe run into her every once in a while.
Maybe.
When I need more time than my teammates do to get a certain thing right, I start to worry that maybe they're judging me.
I think that is a good dance dilemma. I kind of would have liked it if Jude had her own though, rather than sharing it with Cleo. Because I think Jude has her own set of problems, just like they just said, and Cleo has hers as well. So maybe they could have linked, but I would have liked to see a whole 3-parter on just Jude herself and just Cleo.
Have you ever felt like you don't belong, fit in, or maybe people won't accept you if you open up?
So is this basically Jude's dilemma? because Cleo started it, but I don't feel like it went anywhere with what Cleo was saying, and now it's just Cleo helping Jude with hers. So yeah, I would have liked them to have a separate one each, even if it was about the same topic, because it kind of, I don't know.
I could tell Jude was hiding something, and I didn't want her to lose her spot on B Troop for it.
Oh yes, videography, love this. Look at this wall. Oh yes, love it. This is COVID safe as well. And I also like how Molly has space buns, but her hair's also down. So season 8, this could be a Jude look, and I like it. I prefer it to just space buns, if I'm honest.
I wanted to be with Jude almost as much as I wanted to go to nationals. Maybe more. And honestly, that kind of scares me.
I love how Cleo's like comparing nationals to Jude. Like, those are her two biggest loves in life.
I don't want to lose focus on my goal. What if being with Jude is a distraction?
Yes, I like that for Cleo. I feel like that's a very Cleo thing to think. Yes. Okay, I like this dilemma.
I'm used to hiding the stuff I don't like about myself. Leo's the first person who's been able to see through all that.
Oh, what does Jude not like? Also, this is a great ponche, extension. Love it. Go Molly. Look at that foot, yes. But if there's a season 8, I would like to see bad Jude parts. Unless she just means like dyslexia and struggles and things like that. But I think that'd be quite a good thing. I saw the Next Step post recently that there's Clued content coming. I'm guessing they're going to release this maybe as a duet on their channel or something. We should be quite inventive. If I request anything though, I wish they'd kind of zoomed in Molly a bit more and cropped her so that they look like they were the same size. Because it looks like Molly is like a bit smaller than Cleo is because Danny's more further forward. My camera just died. So I've got to record on my phone just as a little bit of reaction.
I feel like our journey is a lot like B Troops. We may have been underestimated at first, but we make each other better.
That's very true. I didn't think of that. Both Jude and Cleo have been underestimated in some way. Like, Cleo was just kind of brushed off the team because, oh, she's not an alternate anymore. And Jude was kind of overlooked because of her dyslexia and not being able to pick up choreography fast. So yeah, I like that about both of them.
We still want to go to nationals. And if I know Cleo, she's not going to stop fighting until she makes it happen.
True.
And I want to be there with her every step of the way.
I think you have to dream big and go for it. And there's room in your life for more than one thing.
I think it's important to find confidence in yourself and trust that you are good enough and that people will welcome the real you.
I literally think the only thing that probably would have improved the Cleo and Jude Clued dance dilemma is if they had separate ones, because literally Cleo could have spoken about nationals and how she was on A Troop, then she wasn't, then she was on B Troop and they were going to nationals, but now A Troop wants to go to nationals and she's not on A Troop anymore. So that could have been her whole dilemma of like, how does she decide what she wants? Jude could have spoken about dyslexia and how that's her dance dilemma, like how does she get noticed and seen and valued for being more than just a dyslexic dancer and overlooked and stuff like she was saying. But then because their relationship kind of wasn't a dilemma, Cleo just used it as like, oh, how do I kind of have both things in my life that I want? Like, is one going to affect the other? Same with Jude, kind of. I feel like they could have linked in their relationship to their individual dilemmas. So I had one about Cleo, one about Jude that followed it, and they both kind of touched on Clued as a topic. Because I don't know, it feels like there was a lot in those just 3 1-minute parts each. Like we had Cleo thinking about nationals and Jude thinking about dyslexia and nationals and wanting to be her own person, then them both thinking about Clued. How do they prioritize the right thing? How do they get seen? It's like so many things. And then you have dance dilemmas like Piper's, where it was basically just telling us what we already knew, and it was a pretty empty dance dilemma because we knew the outcome already. Yeah, I feel like it could have been stronger if it was longer, basically, and if they spoke separately about them. But I like the use of the camera work and the editing for the duet together. Very, very nice. Yeah, I just would have liked to see them speak separately about it, because I feel like it was a little bit jumpy, like this person, then this person, then this person. So overall, Dance Dilemmas, was it a good series? I think yes, kind of. There was some that I think that were weaker than others. My least favourite one is probably still Piper's, just because I don't feel like it had any relevance and we kind of knew what was already happening. It didn't give me anything more to think about, really. It just stated the obvious, in my opinion. My favourite one, I think, is still Winnie's, because I think it gave me a new look at Winnie as a character, and it gave her a potential to grow if there's a season 8. I like the videography and the editing in Cleo and Jude. I think that Ben is a very strong actor, and I want to see more of Pete. Who else was there? Who was second? Kenzie. Kind of the same as Piper's. I felt like it was a little bit empty as well. I just really wish the A-Troopers had spoken more about wanting to go to nationals like they do. Or, on the flip side, have one of them not want to go and one of them that does want to go. I feel like Piper maybe wouldn't want to go because she's still scared and stuff, and I wanted to talk about her anxiety. But yes, I think overall it was an okay series. Just could have been executed a little bit better and had a little bit more thought put into it, potentially, about the plots and what they're actually speaking about. But I like the references, and also there's a few clips that I don't feel like should have been shown at certain parts. But yes, overall, not too bad, but not amazing. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment down below your thoughts, and make sure you subscribe because I upload every Sunday. I'll see you soon, guys. I'm gonna go charge my camera. Bye.